And the subject that we have is opportunities and challenges. So I just noticed the first two speakers talked about the extremely pessimistic outcome of the COVID. Next two speakers, the opportunity of distance learning and the agriculture as a new life. I'm just been wondering, where do we stand? And I would begin with tourism. And tourism has been Kerala's, I think, the most successful industry which Kerala has had. And just going back a little bit, the most unlikely candidate for tourism was Kerala. In a kind of backhanded way, red kept Kerala green is one of the reasons why Kerala succeeded, where tourism succeeded. And smokestacks were kept out. Kerala was kept pollution free. Also, that resulted in another phenomenon, which is the NRK. So tourism and NRK came out of our turbulent times post-independence. Now, I would say, and the investment in HDI, tourism is one of the dividends of that early development in Kerala, 50s and 60s and 70s on HDI. Tourism began. And I would just like to differ with the learned speaker, KMC, in one way, is that they said that we must look for the big L&Ts and the big enterprises. The tourism model of Kerala was that local entrepreneurs did what they could, which is small, in a manner which they knew, which is local, and indigenous and small becoming world class is the Kerala story. That is the story I think we have now looked at in the COVID times. Now, what is the COVID? Now, the topic is also post-COVID. And as Sunil Mani said, where do we stand? Are we at the beginning, the middle, or the end? We use a term that BC, before COVID. So, and post-COVID is somewhere far away. I don't know when, and hope it'll come sooner than later. We are now during COVID, the worst possible time. I remember I was at an institute, and the students were asking, what is our future? Do we have any future? Graduating students. So what I have to say is that you are possibly in the worst of times and possibly in the best of times. I think today we are in that situation. Kerala, what is in tourism, has been that industry which was first hit, worst hit, and longest hit. I don't know. All the other logics of social distancing is completely against tourism. Tourism requires social engagement. Online is not possible in tourism. It requires to be on the spot. And see, in that sense, as we saw the economy slowly opening up, and I think the other day, the tourism industry was allowed to begin slowly. Enterprise March shut down. At that time, out of the 400 rooms total inventory that we had, 324 had foreigners in it. And our instruction from a state is that please get them out of the state. And we told them, one morning we told them, we have two choices: remain in your room in quarantine or get out of it. And with great relief, when the last man left, we said, oh, thank God they were able to leave. But imagine that the transformation that took place at a time when, in fact, as we opened up, just yesterday a report came in that in our resort, Marari Beach, we just took the first 3 guests yesterday. And one of whom was a local resident, is a foreigner local resident in Cochin. And he was there. And he walked up to he saw the sea and walked up to the sea. Immediately we got several calls from local people saying that there is a foreigner on the beach. Please get him out of there. We are afraid. So this is it's a situation, I think, we are going to see a huge transformation in attitude, I suppose, brought about through the COVID. So now the other outcome of the COVID, the other outcome of our development is the creation of NRK. I think it was in the previous government, the then Chief Minister's keynote address said, change agent 2, 1 was the phenomenon of the NRK, and the other is the industry of tourism. The NRK, what did it do? 1.5 lakh remittances per annum. What does tourism do? It became the highest biggest creator of livelihoods. And I think there used to be a saying in Kerala that lack of entrepreneurship was Kerala's biggest handicap. Tourism that destroyed that myth that in fact tourism showed that entrepreneurship was possible, and entrepreneurship by small and local, doing and using your local knowledge, and yet creating world class. Now, just coming back, would say, and I want to show this as aspect of tourism as its ability to spring back. In 2018, we had the big flood, which was said to be the once in a 100-year event. Then the very next year, we had another flood. And also before that, we had a Nipah. And 2000, again a flood. And it happened October 2019, November 2019, December 2019, and January 2020. Tourism department announced figures. And these figures were the highest figures in our history. The best occupancy, the best arrivals, best earnings ever in our history happened spring back after those events. It was then in February and March when the COVID struck. And COVID has just literally pushed the industry off the cliff. Whether it can ever recover is a big question. And here is I'm both specific, extreme. I see that this calamity is something that we should not. The big change that we wanted in tourism, we have a definition. What makes a great place? I think a definition of development is, economists may say it in numbers, but in a very layman kind of way, I say, live-in is a great place to visit, a great place to invest in, a great place to live in. So Kerala is a great place to visit, and is because it was a great place to live in. And that was the success of tourism. That's the reason for the success of tourism of Kerala, a great place to live in. And in that is where I think in the context of the COVID, and we see how Kerala has performed so well in managing COVID. In the conflict between life and livelihood, I think the excellent management of the life issues. In fact, a friend of mine, she comes every year to our Ayurveda center in Kalari Kovilagam, and one afternoon, very excited, she called me and said, she was the senior editor of the French newspaper called Figaro. And she said, do you know, Dominic, what I'm reading here? In all the pages of our paper, there is Mr. Vijayan mentioned about, and the lady and the teacher minister. So for a moment, teacher minister, I got a moment when she said, Vijayan, I was a little fox, and I asked who? He said, your chief minister. So the big reputation that we've got. And as a result of all that, the Kerala model of tourism, the big reputation that we gained, and I think here, a huge opportunity it brings for Kerala post-COVID, if there is a post-COVID. At the moment, as we open up, we are now wearing those PPE kits. We are now between check-in and check-out of rooms. We are asked to keep a 48-hour gap. All kinds of these sanitation costs. It is not viable to operate in this model anymore. If the BC technology is not going to work. So therefore, a reset of Kerala is now is the big opportunity that this COVID will bring. What is the reset? Here I just take about the new opportunities, how the linkage tourism has with many other things. Some 2 years ago, I went to Japan, and we spent 2 weeks traveling in Japan on their north-south axis, on their Shinkansen, on the rapid trains, and the slow rural trains. And I said, and then it was so easy, so wonderful to travel, and so comfortable and affordable. Kerala offers that opportunity, and I think the add to tourism, add to education, add to great place to live in, add mobility. And to that, the next addition I would make is what Shivadas' subject of homestead farm. Kerala has the homestead farm in Kerala, the largest, the most widely held asset, and also the most underutilized asset is the homestead farm. Everybody has a little bit of farm, from whether 2 cents or 25 acres. Everybody has it. And it's generally underutilized. Give you one example. A friend of mine, my neighbor in Palai, right now, what G.V.R. did mention is that I have now slowly moving up from hotel and tourism to more into farming, homestead farming. And my neighbor, a farmer, his son did engineering. He had a 25-acre plot. His son did engineering, and then got a job as some 10 years ago. I got a job campus recruitment in Infosys. I think I was talking to him as neighbors and said, said 25,000 rupees he gets salary. So why, then I had asked the father, why is he wasting time then? Why doesn't he come here? With all the knowledge, I'm sure he can create, there'll be something more he can do here. And so that attitude, he said, no. That in our culture, and then I realized that the job in Infosys versus looking after your farm, said, Magan, if you're looking at the farm, in our language, what do you say? So this, in the COVID, the big change that is going to come in that as Shivada said, as farming and agriculture will become a new prospect, and homestead farm. And in this, and I think it's not just homestead farm, it's going to convert your farm into an enterprise. This is what exactly I think I and a couple of other farmers in our place are trying to do, is that putting in place branding, packaging, online selling, and hopefully, and I think our biggest cost is taking it to market, and that's the biggest cost. And I just hope and wonder if that the famous K line or silver line when it comes in, or before that, hopefully the memo line when it comes, if it can happen sooner, that will be the biggest change maker of Kerala, putting mobility into place. And along with mobility, if we can at least make Kerala the cleanest, the greenest, and the safest. We are already the safest. We are towards the greenest, but sadly we are not the cleanest. We used to be cleanest at one time. Today we have become filthy and filthy. Just yesterday, newspaper showed that in Wayanad, as traffic is started, and the headline and the photograph said, waste on the wayside, waste thrown on the wayside is back. I don't think we have the choice anymore. I think it's important. Kerala's survival will depend on us becoming the cleanest also. And in terms of the opportunity of that tourism provides,
yeah,
I'll just end up with a little closing. See, tourism has got many components to it. By demography, we say domestic, we say foreign. Foreign is going to take many years to come. Domestic too, I don't know how it's going, how prepared we are to it. But local is certainly very much possible. Kochi can see Kochi, and several entrepreneurs, several tourism operators are trying it. Immense success. They started a cycling tour of Kochi, and many takers. So I think what we really do is the reset, rebooting tourism itself, and and therefore enhancing and utilize, harnessing Kerala's advantage. Small size, bring mobility in, all green it is, and here the Kerala model of tourism is a responsible tourism model, and this will stand to us in great stead. Responsible tourism would mean that protect the environment, benefit community, and product excellence. And it is here that we stand in global leadership. And how, what will be at the end of the post-COVID era, I think Kerala is going to have, I believe it can be possibly boom time. However, we'll have, living with COVID, I don't know. Honestly, if you cannot go and sit at a table and sit with people, you cannot go and party together. You can't go into a bar. If you can't have conversation together, then tourism, as we understand it, cannot exist. Of course, there are other ways in which we can do tourism. Is that the other destination, which is called the destination, the most difficult destination, is the destination called the self. We can engage with it, going into meditation and yoga and all those kinds of things. But I think in this context, COVID represents for Kerala a big reset time. How are we going to reset it? How can we utilize this calamity and put it to good use? We cannot afford to be filthy anymore. We have to bring in mobility and further. And I think that the ability of our population to include that inclusivity, that the cosmopolitan nature of our population, we have to take advantage of. With this, I think I'll hold myself here.